Okay. Say buck. So if you can spread out. Shannon, you can kind of just stand up. No. Usually why we do the honors.
Good morning, everybody. And what a beautiful morning it is. It's going to be a great day. And before we start our morning program, we're going to have our invocation and our opening prayer by Blakey Gobble, Mr. Bill May. Bill.
Like Johnny Carson. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, all my relatives and fellow and Schnabe. Ibuju, Igum. Misquagamiwi Zaga Gunning. Ikinu Amazing. We Gummy. Welcome to Red Lake Nation College. We are glad to see everybody here this morning. We Gabo and Digitas, graduation in Jourdain. Mioma in the Garden is Yan, Oga Kani. Daga, we do Kawashinan, Moan dating, Nungam. Daga, we do Kawashinan, Okomistan, Minon, and Minimishomas. Wabanung, Manituk, Jawanung, Manituk, Lingabinung, Manituk, he waited nung Manituk. Daga we do cover Shuna Minawa, Nungam. Tinwendan. We wish Majugi made you both say I'm no Mantuan. Glad to see everybody here this morning, and I'm honored to come up here and help out the way that I am helping out. And big wish Biziduye, that's about all I got to say. Have a good meeting today. Morning,
Thank you, Bill. Bonjour, my name is Floyd Jourdain Jr., also known as Director of Equity, Cultural Education and Archives here at the Red Lake Nation College. And it's our way and our custom to start the day using a duegan, our drum. And we welcome everybody, and later on I'm going to talk a little bit about the song I'm going to sing this morning, which is a chief song, as we go later on in the program. We also have a special treat for everybody today. We have a exhibition here this morning as well of our sacred jingle dress dance that originates with the Ojibwe people. So this morning I'm going to render an honor song on behalf of everybody here, our leader, our chief, the staff, faculty, the students, and the community, and also our tribal leadership who is here as well to support the Red Lake Nation College and who has supported us throughout this endeavor. Thank you. Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to have a very special exhibition by a couple of our young people in the community here. We have Brenden Strong and Elise White, and they're going to do an exhibition of what is a large part of our traditional teachings, our custom, and our history here at Red Lake and all across Ojibwe Nation. The jingle dress has a special place with the Ojibwe people. There's a story that goes along with the jingle dress as a healing dress, a medicine dress. And one of the things that we are striving for here at the Red Lake College is to assure that our people are healthy and happy, and they have a good holistic outlook on life, and they have balance, and they have center in everything that they do. The story of the jingle dress goes back over 100 years, and it's one where a young woman was so ill, their grandfather had this dream, that in the dream, this young woman was dancing in a dress that made this really beautiful swooshing sound. And in his dream, he instructed the women of the community to make this dress. And the young woman, who was deathly ill, was to wear this dress, and they were to help her. And as she wore the dress, they led her around. She could barely walk, she could barely stand. And the ladies in the community, they helped and assisted this young woman. And this is a true story. And so over time, she got stronger, she was able to walk, and eventually she was able to dance without assistance from the other ladies in the community. And she fully recovered from the brink of death. And so this dance has a special meaning here at the college and throughout all of Ojibwe country. So we want to share that with you here this morning. This is Elise White, this is Brenden Strong, and they're going to do that exhibition right now. Thank you.
Okay.
beautiful dance, beautiful ceremony, and if I could add, just like we have borrowed a lot of customs and traditions and ways from other tribes throughout the United States and the First Nations of Canada, we're happy that the jingle dress is spread far and wide throughout the United States and First Nations of Canada, all around the globe. You can find the jingle dress now, and it all originated with the Ojibwe people. We're very proud of that. At this time, we would like to take a little bit of time to introduce Migazanes in Ojibwe language. Migazanes, that means little eagle. That's before their head turns white. Some people mistake a golden eagle for Migazanes. You know, the golden eagle is further down to the south. But this, to us, symbolizes a very powerful part of our Ojibwe customs, and it's an extreme honor to have and be blessed with a name like that. And I'm speaking, of course, of our college president, Daniel King. He's a sixth-generation straight-line descendant of Mdwe-Winonen, who was one of probably our most storied Native leader here at Red Lake. He was the first one to negotiate treaties and agreements with the United States government. And one of the things that we are taught is don't only live for today, think 7 generations ahead, because the decisions that you make will impact generations to come. So being a sixth generation straight line descendant of Chief Mdwe-Winonen, Dan King is also a Red Lake chief. He's a descendant of Mdwe-Winonen. He's carrying on that mission. And in those discussions with the federal government, one of the things that Mdwe-Winonen always stressed was that our people, in order to survive in this world, we have to be educated. And that's something that he always wanted for our people. And Dan is holding true to that tradition and that mission. So without further ado, Migazanes, Dan King, our president.
Bonjour, Migazanes, Nindishinikas, Jagweshe, Ninduden, Marabimo, Nindunjima. Hello everyone, my name is Dan King, as Buck mentioned. My Ojibwe name is Migazanes, or Little Eagle. My family is from the Mink clan and from the town of Red Bean. And as was already mentioned today is a great day. Look how beautiful it is out there. Isn't this something? And it's a historic day, because this is really a 20-year journey that we've been on for institutional accreditation. And this is why we celebrate today. And I want to thank our tribal members for that beautiful ceremony. Let's give them a round of applause. Wasn't that incredible? I'm so proud of our tribal members. Bill May is one of our board members and our spiritual and cultural advisor. So every meeting we start out with an Ojibwe prayer and an opening a lesson in Ojibwe language. So we practice our culture starting at the top and throughout our entire organization. So miigwech to Bill and to Floyd Buck Jourdain, who's one of our former tribal chairmen, and we're very proud to have him as one of our key employees here at the college. And also to Elise and Brenden for that beautiful exhibition. And I also want to thank our special guests. As you know, this is our Higher Learning Commission initial accreditation visit. And so I want to thank Shannon for coming over from Northlight Community College to be with us today. And then I wanted to list the other folks that are here. And this is an incredible day because I think we're one of the first schools in the country to be doing a site visit through virtual reality. And so we have our guests who are represented by this camera, who are in their offices and homes all throughout the country. And so I'd like to mention them as special guests here to the Red Lake Nation College. Dr. William Sayer, Jeremy Razor, Dr. Jill Wright, Dr. Jennifer Miller, Dr. Klein Namuo, and Shannon Chesme, of course. And Shannon is right from in the neighborhood of Thief River, so Miigwech are coming over today. As I mentioned, this is a historic day, and it kind of makes me think about educational opportunity and access to higher education. If you think about everybody in the country, usually within an hour's drive of your house, you got 4 to 7 or maybe even 10 different higher education options that you can go to. A lot of different schools and choices. Well, here in Red Lake, we got one choice, Red Lake Nation College. And that's a crucial access bridge to higher education that we need here. If it weren't for the Red Lake Nation College, 95% of our students wouldn't be here. They wouldn't get that opportunity to go to college. So back in 2011, we did a survey. When we were looking at building this beautiful facility, we did this survey to assess whether we had the critical mass necessary to support a college. That survey indicated yes, we did, but it also indicated that we had an educational crisis. Because at that time, the average 4-year attainment in the U.S. was about 30%. In Red Lake, that was 1.5%. So that's not an educational gap, that's an educational canyon. So we had to fill that gap, and our tribal council, who's represented with some people here today and you'll be meeting with later, they said, we're gonna make an investment. We're gonna address this educational crisis, and we're gonna invest in a brand new $11.4 million state-of-the-art 21st century facility. And then we're gonna give them up to $1 million a year in educational support for operation as they develop and grow. And so the results of that you see here today, and you see with our incredible staff and faculty that I'm so proud of and that you'll be meeting over the next 2 days. So we're very excited to be showing you what we have. And right now, we're actually going to take a tour of the facility. So we're going to move the camera around, and that'll be about a 10 or 15 minute tour. So we'll start our tour. So big wish to everybody for coming, and let's have a great couple days. Big wish. Yeah. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
You have breakfast?
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Ready? You have to work.
Whenever you're ready there, Jacob.
There we go.
You can't get by.
The first stop is going to be the fitness center.
Yeah,
If I can get someone to clear one of those tables so that we've got a little straighter of a path for
Hey,
our
Shai, can you move those tables out of the way?
gonna go right through that middle there.
So we're heading down to the fitness center, and this is a free service for all tribal students, tribal employees, and staff and faculty.
We got the bookstore over here on the left, right?
Yep, bookstore on the left, student services
Student
on the
services.
right. And we have with us on the tour Shailene, who's the Director of Student Success. And so we also actually have, at the facility, we follow a business model. So what that means is we don't try to run a daycare business. We have 2 daycare centers here. We have one drop-off center that's available for students, and then an Ojibwe language immersion daycare center, which is free for students. So most students qualify due to income, and then we just lease the space out to these entities, and then they end up providing that service. Because we don't want to get in the daycare business. So we don't want to get into the cafe business. So we end up just want to end up looking at the beautiful view.
Now, do you want to show us how much you can lift? Or
I don't want to show off, or you be
I
embarrassed.
understand. I understand. All right, let's go back down to the other side.
Yeah.
We are on the move.
So you got a few
Yeah.
minutes of power, huh? Just thinking. So yeah, we ended up with this visit, and it ended up being a little bit of a production, you know. Would have been a lot easier
Where's
if
my
we just
front
had everybody
right
here, but COVID's not helping us out, right?
Okay.
But we're very thankful, actually, that it ended up being a visit like this. I mean, I think it was pretty awesome of HLC to come up with that, and then to have a local person visit. I mean, that was a good idea.
Yeah. I think we will kind of help with our staff. We bring on a lot of to
Can you go up here?
our staff.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll hear you.
Yeah, we got the email from HLC and they said you had been rescheduled. Yeah, well, as part of the team,
There we
they
go.
said we noticed where you
Oh,
went.
yeah. Okay, yeah. That's funny. And this is all the student services, financial aid, counseling, it's all in there, right? And so we're going down to the other end of the hall.
We will go down to the other end of the hall. We are live right now.
So you see that
We're gonna
front
go around
desk
that
area,
carpet there.
you come in, this is our donor wall, and there's a nice picture of Madewig and Onan there.
Just a little bit forward. A little bit forward. Yeah, if you want to actually. Helps with stand too.
Oh.
You're on.
Oh,
Right to that. Yeah, there we go.
So now we're heading down the hallway. Shelly, once we get to the veterans wall, one of our employees, she's a Vista program intern. Actually, a great employee. We got to hire you pretty soon. But we're going to have Shelly explain our veterans wall.
Now, would you-
Or do you want to go in here first?
Why don't we
Okay.
go in
Yeah,
there
let's
real
go in here
quick?
first.
This is just a computer lab here next to the library.
And what we wanted to do with the Learning Center, so any tribal community member can come in here and use this facility. So they have free internet access. They can print out something if they're working on a resume or a cover letter or whatever. So this is all free of charge for any community member who wants to come in here. We also have another computer lab for students, which is a little bit larger, and that's what we usually use for classes, computer labs. But this is totally free. We are a true community college. So whatever we offer here is available to the community. The cafe is open to the community, the GED program. This is free of charge. The library is the regular library. It's a community library where anybody can come and check out a book. And it's also our tribal archives. And Jacob is actually our library director right here, who also happens to be our IT director. So we're very lucky to have Jacob.
Thank you.
So we're going to go right out here and take a look at that veterans wall. And Shelly's going to give you more explanation since she was the main person working and developing that.
Shelley, I need to get us near a plug.
There we go.
Okay.
And other than that, we should be good.
Yeah, there's one right there.
All right, so here we are at Ogitida Asamasag, which means warrior wall. First and foremost, we want to center Ojibwamoan, and we also want to include the Red Lake Nation flag and United States flag at the top. So for our first station that you can come to, we are remembering veterans missing in action, killed in action, and prisoners of war by using this virtual candle. So what we can do is throughout the day, in memory of them, you can come here and you can press the light as if it's a candle. It can do so much more too. It can respond to the colors and the sounds on the TV. So
Show
that's
us
pretty
that,
nifty.
Shelley.
Sure. So you can see it responds to my voice. So we'll be doing a lot more programming with this in the future.
So the idea being, just like when you go in at a regular memorial and you light a candle, you do it digitally here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the memories fill up the board over time. I feel like it really breathes life
Oh,
into
definitely.
the memorial.
And the idea is everything here is 21st century interactive. We used to have small 5x7 pictures on our previous college, and that's something we take as a college and we do for our community. We say, what can we do to help the community? We had community meetings and surveys, and we found out that a lot of our tribal members said, how come we don't have a memorial at our tribe, like most towns? So we ended up building a Vietnam veteran memorial type of memorial where all the names are etched in black granite. So we have a beautiful memorial over by our government center, but we wanted to do more. So we took those pictures instead of small 5x7. You see these beautiful pictures that are digitally, and we can add anything we want to these pictures, right? Later on, Shelley?
Yeah, we can add so much more content. If people have letters, videos, interviews, all sorts of archival data. And you can also access online resources too about service animals, about, well, we have a section on here with state records, history about Native American women who served.
Yep, so that you can look up your loved one by the branch, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then what Shelley was talking about, the online services, you could look up information on the memorial wall.
Yeah, and we can search by name if we want. And do you want to show a photo?
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Let's look up a couple of relatives with my last name, nice and short. So you punch it in, and then we have right here to be socially distant, we got our hand sanitizer. So look at these wonderful, and to me, I'm kind of a history buff, so I love this stuff, but look at this service, Vietnam 65 to 67, U.S. Navy, that looks like a World War II. One of my relatives, the boss, U.S. Army, that looks like Korea. World War II, killed in action. I just imagine adding like the letters from home when they were in war.
Yeah.
Then we could add that and put that on these pages. There's my grandfather, very proud of him, August King, who actually served in World War I. And at that time, natives weren't even U.S. citizens. So they didn't become citizens till 1922. So he served for the U.S. government. He wasn't even a citizen. So that shows the commitment of everybody. I can look at these pictures all day. I just love them.
Yeah, and the meaning and what we wanted out of this wall was really to create a space for the veterans and their families to share their experiences and their stories, and in return be a place for healing.
Look at that, Purple Heart, 3 brown stars. Pretty amazing. So I think we did a great job on that.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep moving. Were we going to go into the library?
Oh, I thought we were going to show the benefits.
Oh, yeah, because they're going to be in the library. Okay.
Can Kiosk real quick?
We'll show it for a quick second.
I think
Oh, we didn't even plug it.
this thing's got to be reading. So, sanitizer. Okay, so here we have the Veterans Benefits Kiosk. Here you can access the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs website, learn more about benefits related to healthcare, housing, education, also Ptsd Resources. We wanted to make it really accessible, and speaking of which, everything is installed according to ADA compliancy. We want to be mindful of who might be accessing these devices. We want to invite children to be able to access the database and the device. And I think overall what the memorial shows is our mission. Through these databases, we want to provide education and the stories, and it's all grounded in Ojibwe culture and language. So thank you.
Thanks. And then on the other side, the TV over there actually has information on staff and faculty. So touch screen.
So feel free to play with them while you're here.
Oh, did we want to go look at that lab? Because we wanted to see that lab. Yeah, let's go down there.
Okay.
If you look on the wall up here, those are recent graduates from school.
Yeah, you want to tell the group here, Shai, about that?
If you go past on the left side, you'll see all of our recent graduates from this spring and a little story about who they are and their goals, interests, and their next step, their plan for the next step of education.
And my favorite, their baby photos.
Oh, yes.
And then we actually had big banners made too at graduation to put out in front of the building, and they're like 10-foot banners, and then we give them to the students after. And so we'll give these to the students once we get our next years.
We can take a stroll in the library. They can lie.
Yeah, we're gonna be in there. Do you want me to?
We're gonna line
You got it?
Yeah, we can line it up. 1 second. All right.
I was excited when I seen it first. Yeah.
Good job, Sean. So you want to explain this, Sean?
Oh,
Computer
this
lab?
is a computer lab for the students. We do have classes that are held in here, but we also this also provides a study space for our students. So they have a little more privacy than the community computer center. And so you can see that it's socially distanced. We had to make that change, but it is highly utilized by our students, and they are able to come here for class and study.
Yeah, just about 2-3 weeks ago, or before the COVID hit, we had what, 20 in here?
About 20.
20 stations, so we just had to put them on ice. And since we're online, we do have a few people that still come in. So.
And then in my area too, Student Success, we've provided some space like this as well for students. So if this overflows, they can come into Student Success and still be safely socially distanced and still do their studies. So.
Okay, let's keep it moving. So yeah, our student numbers. Let Jacob get out of there. So yeah, typically we are.
We go to the library.
Yeah, we get about 6'5". So that must have been a pretty impressive meeting back then. You know, to see these two people when the average person at that time was about my height. But I just want to know what happened to my foot over the 6 generations I got. Something happened to me. And I should say that virtual reality actually makes you appear shorter and wider. So I'm actually very tall.
It's the Mercator projection.
So this is our community library, college library, and tribal archives. And we're going to have one of our meetings in there later. And to me, this is one of my favorite places, though, just because the intellectual energy of a library, I've always loved libraries. And so this is a great place to hang out.
Well, we're also blessed because the tribal colors do have a community library.
I'm sorry.
Here we go. There.
Okay, our next stop for us is the elevator.
Okay, elevator.
And we'll meet you in Tom's classroom.
Okay.
For those of you that are joining us at
We'll keep it socially distant.
home,
Jacob, if you want to fill them in on
we have to get on the elevator to go to the 2nd floor. So we may lose connection for just a brief second. And you may experience some buffering in your video.
but it'll come back.
In fact, would someone run ahead and press the elevator button for me, please?
Our capacity is 525, and typically we have had between 150 and 200 students. With the COVID, that hit our numbers a little bit, but typically we'll be in that 150 to 250 range. Average class size is about 10, so COVID really, we were kind of more prepared for that than most schools. And you can see our COVID entry station right there. There's a thermal camera that you have to go through before you get in, and we have gloves and face masks. I'll meet you guys up there.
Okay, we'll see you upstairs.
Sounds good.
Then we'll go to the biology
Okay,
lab.
great. Sounds good. Did you lose?
It lost in the elevator.
Okay. You might have to reassess.
Okay, it looks like we're going to come back here shortly.
Here it is.
Okay,
We're good.
we're back.
Good.
No, hold on.
Are you back with us? Everybody back?
Yes, we're upstairs.
Okay, great.
We're going to chase Lucas down the hall.
So we're going to go by check out a typical classroom that I want to show you, and then our science classroom. I think science lab was on your list, right?
No, the science lab is.
So this current building is 45,000 square feet. Our previous campus was about 5,000 square feet. So we're in a much better situation here with a lot of room, and everything's contained in one building, which is very nice.
We're going to slide through in here.
Nice. You're pretty good at that, Jacob.
I'm telling you, this is my workout for the day.
So I'm pretty proud of these, where we're set for all of our classrooms. And one of the things we wanted to do is to make all of our classrooms mobile and adaptable. So every chair you see is on wheels. You want to go ahead and sit in there, Shelley?
Sure.
And so see, everything moves around, and then underneath you can put a book bag. All of these tables are on wheels, so you can put them in a circle, and then you can see the faculty. Everything's run by wireless, so we don't have to update everything every couple of years. The only thing we have to update is our 80-inch TVs that we update about every 5 years. And so so we don't have overhead projectors that go out of date, and then it's real costly and disrupts the whole room. So we want it to be 21st century. We have T3 fiber optic lines in this whole facility. We could have 1,100 users at the same time. So we're very fortunate. We're kind of like a lot of inner city in our computer speed. So we're very up to date. And then look at that beautiful view of the light right here.
Should we try to take the card close? Get a good look at it.
Well, we're gonna see it from
You're right. You're right.
So. Okay, all right. Well, there's a typical classroom. Like I said, we were set up good for COVID because our average class is only about 10 anyways. And then after COVID, we went online. But if we do have a few students come to class, we limit it to about 4 to 7 students. And then all this beautiful artwork that you see on the walls is from National Geographic's. They actually did a tribal, yep. And they did a 2010, they did a tribal lands where they looked at all the reservations throughout the country, and this is all artwork from different reservations. It's pretty amazing.
Chemistry and biology.
Yeah, right here, that's where we're going. Okay. So here's the chemistry and biology lab. Hey, Tammy. Well, we got our video tour coming here. So we're just lucky we happen to have Tammy Nemdick, our wonderful instructor. So Tammy, you want to tell them about your lab a little bit? You can take your mask off while you talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So this is our science lab.
You can step up a little closer to the camera.
Okay. We have several stations are located around the outside of the room. The nice thing here is that not only do students have your standard lab access, but we have special outlets for the internet. So if we had some elaborate equipment down the road when we start to build our science program and offer more research opportunities, we have that capability to do so. And then we also have the ability to add hood for the safety component in terms of chemistry classes that we hope to offer down the road as well. So it was built to meet our needs now, but we also have the setup and the infrastructure behind it to allow ourselves to build our science programs. That was one of the things that the Tribal Council and the Department of Natural Resources here on the reservation had suggested. One of the things our community cited as a need and an interest for our students and the community at large.
Yeah, we're very happy to have Tammy here because science and math are some of those critical filter classes, and so we really needed an excellent instructor. So we recruited Tammy from the local high school where she taught there for 20, and actually you taught at Red Lake too, didn't you? So we're glad to have her now. So. All right, any questions?
How would you address a student in a wheelchair in this room?
Everything here that you see is movable. So what we did in terms of social distancing, usually even with the COVID, we had to rearrange our room. And so anything here is accessible. The tables are on wheels, so they're easy to move, and I can position them wherever I want to, so that the student in a wheelchair has access to the side counters and the tables.
And then you have your chemical storage over there.
Yeah, our chemical storage.
Yep.
is
Did you want to
inside.
show her that real quick? Do you have a key?
Yep.
Because I think she's doing a checklist, checking some things off. So you don't have to bring the camera in there. Let Shannon check
That
it.
might be difficult.
That's what we're gonna.
Let's see if I can.
Oh.
And then of course the safety, that matters. So we have our flammable and our corrosives, our MAS will act.
You can get a little closer.
I didn't want to pin them in, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
I do a lot of prep in here. Figure out how to get them on the walls yet. But I have the counter space here, and then the shelving with my chemicals organized, the ones that can be out. And then my matches. But I do a lot of them here.
Object.
And then two, if I have classes that are back to back, so like biology class and then.
Yeah. Oh, I like those. Sharp.
Lock it, yeah, and then bring it back out.
No, that's
good. Real good.
Oh, yeah. All right. And if you remember a question later after, we can always bring it anyways.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Tammy. Yeah, good job. Yeah, this is our food room, so later, there's food, if you want to get snacky, right over here.
I see that too. I'm snacky right now.
Alright. Heading towards the power line?
Yeah, we'll go to the.
Okay. There's 203 that
There
we
you
just
guys
passed
stand
on
with
the right.
So we're hoping this gives you at least a.
Alright. 1 second. Okay, we are back live.
You're back live?
And it's going to catch up. 1 second here.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, we should be ready.
So hard. We started with a team approach at college. We have applications that are exciting, and then exciting roles as well. And we started by.
Okay, we should be good. Why don't you just, if you want to start again from the power.
All right, I think we're back. We're back with our group. So we'll continue the tour. I guess we got to repeat this part because the connection got lost. I think it was from the room. So anyway, back to our power lounge. So this is where people, they charge up their devices on this power strip right here. I don't know if I showed you this before, but all the USBs and plugins. So they charge up their devices and then they charge up themselves. So our Minnewacan and Sioux Power Lounge. And then along with these world-class gorgeous views. So this is normally a spot where we have 25 or 30 chairs, and then several more students. This is limited to students only. So this is a very popular spot, the Power Lounge. So I wanted to show you that. Okay, let's head to the next one. Go to Bonnie's in the boardroom, and I think that's it. You good there too? So now we're taking you to our director of counseling's office, and this is a regular classroom, but we try to make it more like a home for people to stop in and get individual counseling. Hey, there's Bonnie.
Good morning.
Hey, Bonnie. And I'll introduce Bonnie Ekstrom. She's one of our tribal members, and this is her office, but we tried to make it more like a family center, like very welcoming. And the reason we started this is because back in 2010 when I came, we realized a lot of students would come to us with things like, say, I was thinking of killing myself. or we have abuse going on in the house. And, you know, we're just people who work at a college, you know, what do you say to that? So I said, man, this is heavy. This is way above our heads. We need a professional. So we hired one person in that department, and now we have 6. And so we realized we need at least one professional. So we hired a professional counselor who can talk to students. If they want to go to the clinic in town, it takes 3 or 4 weeks to get in there for an appointment. So if you come in there with something urgent, like suicide thoughts, you need to talk to somebody immediately. So we got our own counselor just for our 150 plus students. So that's Bonnie. So Bonnie, do you want to tell us who you are? Bonnie's one of our tribal members, so I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, good morning. I'm fairly new to the college. I've been here about a little over a month, but I'm not new to higher education and I'm not new to counseling. My heart has always been for students, and so I feel very privileged, first of all, to have this beautiful office that I'm in,
Yeah.
and just to be on this campus and be able to help these students succeed and get through these 2 years of college. And with all the, in many ways, they're no different than any other students. There's a lot of need in our college population, food scarcity, just financial needs, and obviously counseling needs. I spoke to someone at BSU a couple years ago, and half of their student population coming in has mental health needs as they come in the door. So it's a real need to have a professional counselor on campus for these students, and I feel very privileged to be able to help out. And I have some disability students right now that I'm trying to work with and get them situated for their courses. They're pretty new into the semester now, but yeah, I'm just happy to be here. This is about my 3rd day on campus.
She's been working from home, so.
Yeah, as many of us are, so looking forward
what
to.
school did you work at before? Or
I have taught at many different campuses, Bemidji State University, University of Minnesota Morris. I've done counseling through Sanford Behavioral Health and Wellness Center counseling at Carbondale, where I graduated with my PhD in psychology, clinical psychology, and so, yeah, but my heart has always been for students, so I'm excited to actually be on a campus again.
Great, and welcome.
Thank you.
All right, let's keep moving. We've got one more stop, and then we'll leave our meeting.
Kevin, because we're going to have to lift this over the threshold here in one moment. I think I'll get right this part.
Especially with the technology.
Almost.
So yeah, we'll just go through the boardroom, and then, and I was going to tell our guests here that the average student comes in to Red Lake Nation College with a 9th grade level. So over 90% need developmental courses, and our high school graduation rate of nearby is only 35%. So we come in with students who are very underprepared and need a lot of extra help. So when you think about that challenge, really, think about that. If they come in at a 9th grade level, that means we have to get our students from 9th grade in college. We got to get them from 9th grade in college up to a junior in college, 9th grade in high school to a junior in college in 2 years. So that's 6 levels in 2 years. So this is our boardroom, and we also use it for student council meetings throughout the year. And our board members are required to be tribal members and required to have at least a 2-year degree. And so the pictures of them are there. We have some of them are they have master's degrees. One of them is a nurse, and so they're required to have at least a 2-year degree. So this is a beautiful setting, as you can see, with the gorgeous views. And then on a nice day, we get to go out on the deck. So we're going to try to make it over to deck area. It's a little windy today. I don't know. Anything we need to do, Jacob, for the audio?
Yep, I will make
All right, are we ready? Do we think that,
It's a little windy.
here, should we take this?
What about the audio? Could be okay. It's a little breezy out here today, so you might. I don't know when they're gonna be able to hear. Is this good?
Yeah, they should be able to hear.
Okay. What about that? Yeah, we love coming out here when we can. Because just to give you, are they gonna be able to hear with the wind, Jacob? You think? Are they gonna be able to hear with the wind?
It's not gonna be great.
Okay. Well, maybe we can explain that part when we get back in. I can tell Shannon, Red Lake is actually about 1 million acres. We're bigger than the state of Rhode Island, and this is the 7th largest freshwater lake in the U.S. that's contained in any one state. So after the Great Lakes, there's Lake Okeechobee in Florida, and then us. So we're the natural lake. I think there's some man-made lakes that are larger, but. So it's pretty impressive. And then right in these 2 fields over here, that's where we plan for our student housing. So we already have the plans and the financing and everything, and it's going to be attached to this building. So we're really lucky. We got, I think, one of the ideal. And we're actually on about a 75 to 90 foot cliff right over there. So you got a beautiful view. And that's our garden, our community garden. We're going to set up right here.
Yeah.
All right, let's head to the meeting.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Did you want to go first and then we'll follow
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
it? Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything about it?
I think we're going to end the stream, folks, so that you can join the regular meeting. It's online. And that's going to conclude that. We appreciate everyone for.
I can't hear you. What's that?